It's a beautiful, foggy, and chilly morning this Friday morning in Ilorin, Kwara State, Nigeria. Good morning, Ilorin. Good morning, Kwara. Good morning, Nigeria. You are listening to us from Emirates Radio at Emirates House behind Federal Ministry of Environment, Old Jebba Road, Ilorin, Kwara State. And this is your daily newspaper review. And I am Latifat Ibrahim Arowona. On today's newspaper review, we have the Punch newspaper, the Nation, Vanguard, and the Leadership newspaper. So stay with us. So the first newspaper we're going to look into this morning on our newspaper review is the Punch newspaper. Adeleke imposes fresh curfew on warning Osun communities. Osun State Governor Ademola Adeleke on Thursday imposed a fresh curfew on Ilobu and Ifon communities following the outbreak of another clash between the neighboring towns. The umbrella body for the indigenes of Ifon Orolu in Osun State, Ifon Progressive Union, had alleged that some gunmen from Ilobu stormed the Apinponroro area shooting, causing panic among the residents. Shedding further light on the incident, the Secretary, Board of Trustees, Ifon Orolu Progressive Union, Jide Akinyeoye, explained that the latest attack on the town started in the early hours of Tuesday. According to him, gunshots were heard in Odoje and Golden Gates area of Ifon, noting that many residents trying to escape from the areas have been displaced. Still on the Punch newspaper this morning, military kills 6 Lakurawa terrorists, recovers weapon in Sokoto. Troops of the Defense Headquarters Special Operations Brigade conducted a coordinated offensive operation against Lakurawa terrorists in the Gadu local government area of Sokoto State. According to a statement signed and made available to newsmen on Thursday by the coordinator of the Joint Media Coordination Center, Operation Fansanyama, Lieutenant Colonel Abubakar Abdullahi, the operation led to an intense firefight during which 6 terrorists were neutralized. The troops recovered the following items from the operation: 4 AK-47 rifles, 160 round of 7.6 mm special ammunition, and 1 box of 12.7 mm ammunitions. Still on the Punch newspaper this morning on our newspaper review, we have INEC deletes 7,746 deceased persons from voters' register. The Independent National Electoral Commission has announced that 7,746 deceased voters were removed from the National Voter Register in 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory as of December 2022. The Director of Voter Education and Publicity, Victoria Etamesi, disclosed this to our correspondents on Thursday. 7,746 deceased persons across the 36 states and the FCT were removed from the National Register of Voters as of December 2022, she declared. According to INEC, a thorough cleaning of the voters' register is usually done before every general election. lastly, on the Punch newspaper this morning, we have federal government debunks third mainland bridge damage rumor. The federal government has debunked a rumor that the third mainland bridge is shaking, describing it as a baseless and driven by ulterior motives. The news agency of Nigeria reports that some messages on social media platforms such as WhatsApp and Facebook claim that a part of the third mainland bridge had opened up. The bridge was shaking. The Federal Controller of Works in Lagos State, Olukorode Kesha, said on Thursday that the message were false and should be disregarded. She spoke while touring the bridge with journalists. And the next newspaper we're going to look through this morning is the Leadership newspaper. Settle Kano Emirates tussle with football match, ex-senator tells Sanusi II, Bayero. A former senator representing Kaduna Central in the National Assembly, Comrade Shehu Sani, has offered a way out of the Kano Emirates logjam, suggesting a football match between the two contending parties instead of the ongoing judicial process. He asked both Emir Muhammad Sanusi II and Emir Aminu Ado Bayero to withdraw their cases from the courts and opt for the football feud to determine who occupies the throne. The former lawmaker, in his usual satirical post on Facebook on Thursday, said the eventual winner of the soccer match should automatically take the Kano throne. Senator Shehu Sani wrote, His Highness Aminu Bayero and His Highness Sanusi should withdraw their cases in court. Both should select football players from Kano for their teams and play a match in the Sani Abacha Stadium. Still on the Leadership newspaper this morning, Rotary Foundation invests $300 million to combat polio in Nigeria. The chairman of the Board of Trustees for the Rotary International Foundation, Mark Maloney, has said that the organization has committed over $300 million to polio eradication efforts in Nigeria. This funding aims to support Rotarians in immunization initiatives across the country, addressing the pressing issues of poliovirus. Maloney, who previously served as Rotary International's president, made this declaration during a symbolic immunization event at the Jahi Clinic and Primary Health Center in Jahi Village in Abuja. Still on the Leadership newspaper, Kwara governor celebrates 18-year-old female chartered accountant. The Kwara State Governor, Abdulrahman Abdulrazak, has congratulated an 18-year-old student of the University of Ilorin, Faith Aduragbemi Olabisi, who recently became a chartered accountant. The governor, in a statement signed by his chief press secretary, Rafiu Ajakaye, said the feat accorded by Faith was a triumph of hard work, determination, equal opportunities, and equitable access to education. He urged the young chartered accountant to remain steadfast and strong as she pursued a career in the field of accountancy. Still on the leadership newspaper this morning on our newspaper review, we have Bago stops PTA fees, says uniform, not compulsory. Niger State Governor has said that no child or student should be sent back from school on account of no uniform or Parent-Teachers Association's fee. He said students are free to wear any clothing to school, even as he promised to pay the PTA fee for pupils in primary and secondary schools across the state. Bago made this pronouncement at Serikin Power, Munya Local Government Council of the state, as part of its ongoing statewide tour. Allow your children to go to school. School uniform should not be your impediment, and any teacher who sends your child back home, please report him. He will also be sent packing from the school, Bago declared. And lastly, on the leadership newspaper this morning on our newspaper review, we have federal government caps telecom tariff hike as 60%. The Nigerian government has announced that any increase in telecommunication tariffs will be capped at 60%, following a request by telecom operators for a 100% hike to address rising operational costs. Minister of Communications, Innovation and Digital Economy, Dr. Bosun Tijani, disclosed this during a Channels TV program on Thursday. Telecoms operator led by MTN Nigerian CEO Carl Toriola had earlier raised concern over rising inflation, foreign exchange fluctuations, and soaring energy prices, which had driven up costs. Toriola revealed that diesel prices have skyrocketed from 230 naira to over 1,000 naira per litre since the pandemic, while the exchange rate has increased significantly, making it costlier to import essential infrastructure. The next paper we're looking into this morning is the Nation newspaper. Torrents of tributes for Akande at 86. Tributes poured in yesterday for pioneer national chairman of the All Progressive Congress (APC), Chief B.C. Akande, who turned 86. Those who showered encomiums on the one-time Osun State governor included President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, Lagos State Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu, and National Secretary of the APC, Senator Ajibolu Bashir. In his congratulatory message, Tinubu described Akande as a dedicated Awoist, a champion of progressive politics, and a tireless advocate for democracy and nation building. In a statement by his special advisor on information and strategy, Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu said, "Selfless service has been Baba Akande's watchword since he entered politics." Still on the Nation newspaper, Tinubu applauds Okonjo-Iweala, Adeola Adesina on Unilag's award. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has congratulated three eminent Nigerians, Dr. Ngozi Okonjo-Iweala, Mr. Fola Adeola, and Mr. Kola Adesina, on receiving honorary doctorate degrees from the University of Lagos, Unilag, during his 55th convocation ceremony. In a statement yesterday in Abuja by his special advisor on information and strategy, Mr. Bayo Onanuga, President Tinubu praised the recipients for their outstanding achievements and the impacts they have made on Nigerians' development. The president hailed the Director General of the World Trade Organization, Dr. Nkojo Iweala, for her historic leadership as the first African woman to head the global trade body and her transformative reforms to Nigerian financial sector. Bodija explosion. Suspects facing trials, currently in custody, says Makinde. Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde yesterday said those responsible for the January 16, 2024 explosion that rocked Dejo Oyelese Street's Bodija, Ibadan, are facing trial for terrorism. The governor, who said his administration had taken steps to prosecute the suspects, added that those involved were being held in prison, contrary to insinuation that the matter had been swept under the carpet. Residents of Bodija area of Ibadan affected by the explosion said they were still waiting for the promised compensation. So you want to read that and more, you can pick up the Nation newspaper and go through. And lastly, on the Nation newspaper this morning, why there is food shortage in Nigeria. Nigeria-born founder of the Canadian Black Farmers Association, Toyin Ajayi, has attributed the food shortage in the country to excessive exportation, poor attitude to local farming, and insecurity, among others. In a statement, Ajayi said the continuous demand for Nigerians' variety of foods among the nation's citizens in the diaspora has led to the exportation of the largest chunk of food produced by the farmers. He noted that the development had led to a hike in the price of the limited available foods in the country. The manager of Karakasa Wood Village in Vancouver, British Columbia, stressed that food insecurity is a global phenomenon. And the last newspaper we're looking this morning is the Vanguard. Killer meats. Panic in Benue as butchers resort to roasting cows and goats with tires. The unhealthy practice has been going on for decades. Over time, it has been accepted as norm, as meat consumers continue to ignore the dangers associated with the method, using scrap tires to shear goats, cow, ram, and other animals for consumption. According to the health experts, the practice is not only primitive, but it is harmful and can lead to serious health challenges. You want to read that and more, you can pick up the Vanguard newspaper and go through it. Women scavenging for valuables in garbage dump to feed their homes. In the bustling market of Lagos, a shocking sight has become an all too familiar reality. Groups of married women and mothers, once proud and self-sufficient, are now forced to rummage through discarded remnants of the day's market activities. Their hands, once gentle and nurturing, now dig through rotten food and filth, driven by the desperation to feed their families. The downward spiral of this woman's life was triggered by the combination of devastating factors. For some, it was the sudden loss of their husband's job, which shattered their financial stability. Others were crippled by illness that ravaged their savings, leaving them vulnerable to the whims of fate. Yet, others lose their breadwinners to the unexpected premature deaths, terminal illnesses, and the like. And for the rest of the populace, the relentless rise in the cost of living proved to be the final push. sending them tumbling over the edge into a desperate struggle for survival. Still on the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Dangote refinery reduces pressure on European markets, says OPEC. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries, OPEC, said the Dangote Petroleum Refinery has impacted the flow of premium motor spirits (PMS), also known as petrol, in the European markets. The 650,000 capacity Dangote refinery commenced production and exports of petroleum products, including diesel and fuel, to the global markets last September. However, in its report, OPEC maintained that the commencement of the operation has reduced the importation of petroleum products from Europe to Nigeria and the other nations. Lastly, on our newspaper review this morning, still on the Vanguard newspaper, Afenifere to new Ohaneze president, strengthen restructuring partnership for Nigerians' unity. The Pan-Yoruba socio-political organization, Afenifere, yesterday urged the new President General of Ohaneze, Ndigbo, Senator John Azuta Mbata, and the group's new executive council to continue their partnership with Afenifere to demand for restructuring. Afenifere, in a statement by its deputy leader and national publicity secretary, Oba Oladipo Olaitan and Prince Justice Folaye, respectively, said the same should be done with their partners in the South and members of the Middle Belt Leadership Alliance, stressing that they were all created for cultural, political, and economic justice in Nigeria. And that rounds up our newspaper review this morning. Thank you for listening and have a joyful Friday. You are listening to us on Emirates Radio at Emirates House behind Federal Ministry of Environment, Old Jebba Road, Ilorin, Kwara State. You can join us live on all of our social media handle, Facebook, Twitter, presently X, or join our live program on YouTube, or download our app on Google Play Store at Emirates Radio. And you can call our studio line on 081 091 34158316. Thank you and have a great weekend. I am Latifat Ibrahim Arowona. Have a great weekend.